Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the Breaking Borders series. In today's episode, we'll be giving you an introduction into the UK market to successfully export into the UK. My name is Daniel O'Farrell, and I'm an international growth consultant for the UK and Ireland.
And my name's Harold, and I am an accelerated growth manager on the UKI market and the token Brit for today's episode.
Thanks for coming. Our agenda for today will start with a snapshot of the UK market, and then we'll look into UK-specific consumer insights, and finally we'll look at how to best kick off your UK export journey. So without further ado, some market insights for the UK. So taking a look at the UK snapshot, the UK has a population of around 66 million people, which makes it the third largest country in Europe. The national GDP sits at around $2.64 trillion, which makes it the sixth largest economic country globally. And finally, the UK has an extremely high internet penetration at around 95%, which equates to about 62.5 million Brits online. It's because of that high internet penetration that the UK is a particularly exciting market for e-commerce. As you can see from the stat, almost 9 in 10 of your ideal customers will be active and reachable online with the prospect of converting. The higher the digital buyer penetration, the more likely it is for a customer to purchase online rather than in-store. This is great news for brands that don't yet have a base in the UK and are looking to drive e-commerce revenue. And the consumers in the UK are becoming more involved in buying from retailers outside of the UK. Cross-border e-commerce has increased 65% in recent years. At present, just under 1 in 2 consumers in the UK buys from an international site. This means that there's a large share of the UK customer base is open to discovering and purchasing from non-UK brands, once their interests and needs are being met. And when we look at shopping purchasing behaviours, we see that 69% of shoppers use Google to research a purchase they plan to buy in-store or online. And 40% of shoppers say that they use Google to research before buying something completely new. Now I'm going to pass it over to Harold, who will chat us through our UK-specific consumer insights.
Thank you, Dan, and I must admit you taught me a thing or two about my country there.
Good to hear.
Okay, let's start by talking about shopping behaviour. According to our Ipsos research, the average UK shopper engages with over 4 different sources of information when making a decision during shopping, browsing and buying. This is actually slightly lower than the global average, interestingly. What does this mean? Well, it's key as a business to be targeted in your approach on influential stages of the decision-making process, because UK shoppers are likely to make quicker decisions about transactions by consulting fewer sources of information. This is a great opportunity for international retailers, as UK consumers are very open to buying from brands they are not familiar with and use Google before buying something new. Clothing, outerwear and footwear are very large e-commerce categories in the UK, but the average UK shopper is actually shopping across 4.1 categories at any given time. What does this mean? Well, there could be a huge opportunity for cross-sell for companies looking to export to the UK. Quick note on devices, and yes, we might be sounding like a broken record because we now know the value of mobile, but it's important for international retailers and all companies, in fact, to ensure mobile speed and UX are up to scratch. Why? Well, 6 in 10 people have used smartphones in their purchases in the last week. We know about our consumers and how they find products, but how do they prefer to part with their money in the UK? Well, card payment options are important for both one-off and subscription payments. This differs from other European markets, for example Germany, where there is a larger emphasis on bank transfer. We've spoken about product categories, devices and payments, but what about logistics? Consumers in Britain do care about free shipping, but less than the global average, which is interesting. For example, in France, the same stat is at 64%. Meanwhile, UK shoppers surveyed in this study valued knowing that they got a good deal as the most important factor for their retail choice. So price sensitivity is something to be aware of for exporters looking to come to the UK.
Nice. Great, thanks for that, Harold. So, what's next? So if you haven't already, we invite you to check out Market Finder by entering your URL into the Market Finder tool. And what this will do is it'll give you insights for market recommendations on where your business will look good, operational resources and know-how, and also marketing solutions on how to best crack that market. Alternatively, for more advice, reach out to your Google POC, and happy exporting. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.